Hello and welcome to Rehu Rugby, and this time round we're looking at Super Rugby Aotearoa, and we're going to do a Team of the Week for round number 8. Good morning to you, my name's Mike Rehu, and while you might be mowing the lawn and having a nice brunch, I've been preparing this Team of the Week document and presentation for you on Rehu Sport. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe down there, somewhere down there, isn't it, the subscribe button, and also on Rehu Sport on Facebook if you're on there as well. Really appreciate your support. So just taking a look at the results for round 8. Of course, on Friday night we saw the Highlanders pip the Blues 35-29 at the Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin. Good win there. You'll see the little nugget, perhaps a clue of one of our players in Team of the Week. And then the next night, the Crusaders going down to the Chiefs by only 1 point. Richie Mo'unga will rue his misconversion. 26-25 was the final score there. The table, the Crusaders still well on top, but the Chiefs chasing very rapidly with 4 victories in a row now. The Blues slightly stuttering with only a 50% win ratio, but loads of bonus points to keep them within touch. All right, let's take a look at this Team of the Week. Bear with me here, I'm using some new technology, so trying to do my best. So, there I am there too on camera. All right, that's worked all right. Here's the Team of the Week from Rehu Sport for Super Rugby Aotearoa, round number 8. At fullback, drum roll please. This is probably the place of the most debate and discussion. I put Josh Ioane in there for the Highlanders. Thought he was influential. His line breaking was great. Of course, there was one other elephant in the room that I've included in the team. Just taking a little bit of latitude in terms of putting Will Jordan in at 14. Of course, he played fullback, and I know a few of you will get upset me changing positions. But as far as the best 15 players that we saw on display, it's best to fit Will Jordan into this team. 132 metres. He's second in the competition in clean breaks. He's got 9 of those, and he's first in metre by some way. I think Whainga Anuku is just trailing him, but beyond those two, there's a big gap back into the rest of the runners in terms of metres for the competition. 554, so he's doing really well, Will Jordan and Josh Ioane. They cap out the 15 and the 14 numbers. At 13, the lion-hearted Anton Leonard-Brown really has become a great leader. As the Sky Sports commentator said last night, he didn't have the greatest of form when the competition started, but you could just see his gritty determination to do the best for the team. Same last night too. Fantastic run going around Sanders late in the first half, and then some lovely skills. We saw a pass around the back, a pass off the left hand to Jonah Lowe that got their winning try as well. No, he was very influential, and of course at the breakdown too, he's like another loose forward. And he's in the box seat to take one of the midfield roles in the All Blacks this season. Will it be 12 or 13? I think, there's been a lot of chatter about David Havili slotting in at 12, and perhaps he'll get a game or two this season. But for me, I think the ideal the centre pairing is ALB and Rieko Ioane at this stage, so we may see ALB slot in one. But David Havili continued his great form from last week. He's a real ball player, and he's one of those step-up players. We saw late in the game that he had a great influence, but it wasn't great enough to get the victory for the Crusaders. One young player that I outlined before the round 8 game started was Caleb Clark, and said there's probably a bit of pressure for him to step up now that we've seen the reintroduction of George Bridge. There's a few challenges for that left wing spot, and he did really, really well on Friday night. He got over 100 metres, and he's doing really well in terms of carries, 213 carries for the game this weekend. It's probably double his average rate. So he was really good in the way that he introduced himself into the game as well. Basically running lines behind Oteri Black and getting the ball, seeing where the holes where the defence were, and doing really well. Didn't finish so well, got inside the red zone, and his team couldn't finish off the breaks that he made. Would have been frustrating for Leon McDonald and the Blues coaching staff. Well, another big debate here, because we saw Mitch Hunt do really well, but I've gone with D-Mac for my number 10. I thought he played the 10 role perfectly, and we do see him try a lot with ball in hand by himself. Not on Saturday night. He was really the conductor of the orchestra, and he distributed well. He made other players outside and inside and prosper with his skill and decision making. I thought Damian McKenzie was brilliant there, and he's gone from an option on the bench at 15 and 10 for the All Blacks to really people, if he can continue this form, that's the key, I guess, is to think, well, maybe he can do the 10 role for the All Blacks. So a good week for Damian McKenzie. Inside him, Aaron Smith, the Nugget. He was, again, influential for his team on Friday night in beating the Blues. Had egg on his face after a few minutes when Ruru intercepted his pass from the base of the line out. But then from then on, he just organised his team magnificently. And it's really interesting just to hear the sound effects. Not so much complaining this season. We heard him a lot in the ref's ear last season, quite aggressive. This year he's just focusing on marshalling his team, calling his team into positions that he knows that they're going to get go forward, that he knows they're going to get yards, and he's got a real vision, that's for sure. Well, that's not the end of the Highlanders and my team. I've decided to choose the whole loose forward trio for the Highlanders this week. You know, when you're up against the Blues, when you're talking about Papali'i, Sortutu, and then there was Robinson and Akira Ioane, that's a big assignment. And these guys did really well. They've got a big name there, Shannon Frizzell. He, in terms of numbers this year, there's nobody in the competition who is doing better. He's number 1 in carries, number 5 in defenders beaten, number 4 in lineouts won, and also number 2 in offloads. I mean, he's just got a slew of top finishers in the stats so far. He's been wonderful, and he'd be one of the first players that I'd choose in my All Blacks team at this stage. But the other two, unsung heroes to a degree. Billy Harmon had a great game last week and played really well against the Crusaders too when they had that big victory. And Kazuki Himeno, he has been fabulous since he got himself an opportunity. Real warrior. It's great to see a foreign player come into the Aotearoa competition and do really well. And not only that, for the Highlanders, off the bench, Marino Michele too, another player who obviously got a ban for his unsociable behaviour, or maybe his over-sociable behaviour. He came back off the bench and looked really great as well. So that's given them some good options. Depth is so important as we enter the last stanza of the competition. I've gone for another set in terms of the locks as well. I've gone for the Chiefs pair. Young, athletic, brave, and skillful. Both of them, Tupou Vaa'i and Natua Akoi, were really good against the Crusaders. Of course, they didn't have Whitelock in the opposition, but the Crusaders always put out a good pack, and these two were really valuable in terms of aerial skills. We saw Natua Akoi holding the ball like Colin Meads with one hand, but he didn't lose it. As a fan, I get a bit nervous, but he didn't lose the ball. He flung the ball around with gay abandon. He must be a basketball player, the way his skills were exhibited on the weekend, and really enjoyed the performance of the two young locks. And they've got Mitch Brown at 6 too. We shouldn't underestimate his contribution in the tight play as well, because these guys are good athletes. It's good to see them show their skills running, getting out, and of course Akoi with the game-winning turnover. Wonderful. All right, let's go to the front row. Almost there. There'll be a bit of debate about this one because I know there are a lot of Angus Ta'avao fans, but I've gone for Ofa Tuangafasi. He had 50 minutes, and it's so much easier for Tuangafasi than Ta'avao as well. He had 50 minutes. He knew he was coming off. He's got Nepo Laulala sitting on the bench, so he knows he can give us all in that 50 minutes, and give us all he did. He was the top tackler for his team in just those 50 minutes, made some big plays. He's just strong in the contact, and a really strong player to have. And the blue scrum was reasonable, so I've gone for Tuangafasi. He'd be another player that I'd be picking in the test lineup pretty early on without too much discussion. So Ta'avao was good. Got mistaken for Nankerville by Grant Nisbet early on with one of his runs in the midfield, so I'm sure he's chipping away at McMillan to get a start at second 5/8 next weekend. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? And at hooker, Tokeaho finally wrapped up all his skills in one match. We know he's got the ball carrying ability. He's strong in contact. The set piece is debatable, but on the weekend the scrum was really strong alongside Ross and Ta'avao, and his line-out throwing was really, really strong. And it was also good to see Nathan Harris come back too. They were a real 1-2 punch, and when the going got tough, Nathan Harris was reliable at the lineouts. And at loosehead prop, last but not least, Aidan Ross, very strong scrummager, has looked even better around the park in the last few weeks as well. So I think he's taken that form loosehead mantle off Ethan de Groot, who has also had a good game, but now he's been pushed to the bench too to give Aidan Johnston some time on the paddock. So Aidan Ross gets the final pick for me in terms of the team of the week. I know you'll have some of your own opinions, so please feel free to comment down below, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. Love to hear the discussions, because that's what rugby's all about, isn't it? Everybody's got their opinions and it's very subjective, and I'd love to hear them. Moving on to round 9 for next weekend. We'll see on Friday night the Chiefs take on the Hurricanes, another home game for them, and I'm sure they'll get a big crowd along to hopefully get a bonus point win and get themselves in the driving seat, not only for a final position, but also perhaps a home final. It's still possible if the Blues can go down to Christchurch and beat the Crusaders. And on the evidence of the last few rounds, that's a big if. The Crusaders will know this game's important, but the Blues can blow out the Crusaders. It's going to make it really interesting in terms of the final two and who gets the home final. So hope you've enjoyed that update and team of the week. Leave the last word to famous All Black Andrew Mertens in the pre-match in Australia.
To him, and he executes basics very, very well.
I love you. I don't love you too, but I know you love.
There you go. Last word to Andrew Mertens. He loves Justin Harrison. Who doesn't? The big Australian. He's proven to be quite a great pundit as well in terms of Super Rugby Australia. Can't wait till these two competitions come together just to see how strong teams like the Brumbies and the Reds are. That's it for now. I'll be back with some previews of next weekend, round 9, Thursday, Friday. I look forward to it. I hope you have a great week. But for now, it's adios, haere, and take a good week and a nice break on the Sunday. This has been a presentation for Tahu Films.